Welcome to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. My name is Dimitri. I'm here with Ian. He's running the camera today. And we're going to review this awesome 2025 Ural Gear Up built by us with Expedition trim. And this has a gorgeous blue metallic with Rainier white striping. This is a very rare color combination, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We're actually gonna get the camera closer to the color so you can see it. And this bike is built for a customer in North Carolina. Our sales team, Derek specifically, worked very closely with this customer to come up with this amazing build. And we worked on the build for a few weeks, and now it's almost ready to be shipped. But the bike is fully operational, and we're gonna take a very, very close look at all the accessories that are installed on this bike, because not only this is a very tasteful set, very practical set, very functional set, but it is probably the most you can fit on one Ural motorcycle. I'm sure you can squeeze a couple more goodies here and there, but this is pretty complete, and this is very, very nice, versatile. I'm very pleased with how this bike came out. So we're going to start with the Expedition trim. So the Expedition trim, we can order it from the factory with the accessories to go as Expedition trim, or we can take a bike in any color and set it up this way. This is what we did with this bike. So let's take a look at it. We're gonna start in no special order, but in a certain logical sequence. So we're gonna start with a rider adjustable windscreen, this one. And it has a smoke tint to it. And the adjustable feature is really, really simple to use. It is very nice and functional. And you can see how this would slide up and down. We just need to loosen this up. And there are little washers that get, so you can see how you can lower it. There's about 3 inches of height that, you know, kind of make this adjustable. We actually had a customer who had a question for us about the windshield height. So we're going to answer this question now. It's very simple. We have almost 16 inches in its lowest position. And we have, let's just bring it all the way up. There it is, all the way up. And we have almost 18 inches in the top position. So we have that, and while we're on the windshield, we're going to show you the windshield mounting. It's very simple and it's very, very sturdy. So check that out on this side. There are heavy duty stainless steel brackets that go into engineered substantial clamps. Very simple. And the clamps go into the replacement. There's a stud that replaces the mounting bolt there. So that's that. The next one with the Expedition trim, we're going to look at the reinforced crash bar. And on this particular bike, it is actually, it was replaced with the left side foot box, because the reinforced crash bar would have a crash bar with a linkage welded and connected to the frame. And the standard crash bar is this crash bar. If you check this out, this is the standard Ural crash bar on this bike. Nice color combination too. So then we have a skid plate. While we're in this area, we're going to show it to you. And the skid plate, you can see right here, it protects the aluminum oil pan, and it mounts right here, you can see, to the engine mounting stud. There's actually a long stud that goes through the frame on both sides, and there's one there. So it is a super heavy duty installation. It's definitely not going anywhere. And then we have the taillight protector, headlight grille, and we have some handlebar. Well, we'll get to that. So we have this item right here. As you can see, very slick mounting, nice alignment. Yeah, works great. And then we have the taillight protector. Same kind of design as this little bumper, so it flows nicely with the bike design. Yeah, this is standard, and this is part of the Expedition trim. And then we have, on this particular bike, we actually replaced the standard lens with the H4 lens. And it's hard to see here, but through the grille, you can see a glass, and it says H4. So the pattern of the light is quite, it's dispersed, and it's concentrated while covering the road. It makes a huge difference. And then it comes with the H4 LED bulb that is inside. And to give you an idea, that's how this is. And this is a standard light on the Ural. So you can see it's got more yellow to it. It's got a plastic. It's got a plastic lens. And, and this one is glass H4. And we're going to get to, while we are on the Expedition trim, which comes with the LED light, we talk about this, but we're going to touch on the H4 and this beautiful accessory, which was traditionally standard on the earlier Urals, all the way from the, pretty much from way back and through year 2000, I think, 14, when this light was replaced with the bumper lights. But this is a spotlight. And while it comes with the spotlight lens, a true spotlight lens, we do have a conversion lens. So this is a driving H4 lens with, let me show you this bulb. Actually, Ian is going to click that. Oh, wow. This thing is insanely bright. So look at this motorcycle. So we're going to get sidetracked a little bit from the Expedition trim, and we're going to talk about the lights. So we have that, and we have this. So check this out. This is the ultimate lighting package. So the standard lighting configuration on the Ural, you have the halogen bulb. You have LED driving lamps. They're standard for the Gear Up standard trim. And of course, you have your running lights. So that's all you have. It's better than having no light. This is very good. But after you rode that bike, and then you get on this bike, this would feel like you have no lights. So this is an awesome option. And we also have another, you can theoretically add another set of lights. We have nice auxiliary lights that go here. But with the fork lights, as you can see, this will follow the direction of the bike. So this is highly recommended and super functional. There are plenty of amperage that this alternator will deliver, so there's absolutely no concern on the how much draw they produce. So that alternator will supply plenty of power and some. So we're gonna, on the handlebars, we have the switch for the bumper lights. And over here we have a switch for the driving lamp, which is integrated inside the spotlight. And let's turn this off. And our the sidecar fender LED is running simultaneously with the headlamp the same way. So it works as a running light. It could be adjusted and turn to the side a little bit because there is a bag here. We're going to talk about this. And it still works awesome and puts plenty of light on the road. And you notice too, speaking of lights, this bike has an LED bulb upgrade. So if you look at the LED bulb, running light here versus the standard running light, incandescent bulb, there's a big difference, huge difference. Yeah, that's the turn signal. And here's a turn signal here. So our kit that we offer on our e-store, which is shop.alphacars.com, you would get the set of bulbs, the upgraded little controller that replaces factory relay, and it doesn't take long to convert your Ural to LED lighting.
And it has the hazards too.
And this bike has the hazards. So we're going to turn this off, and we're going to turn that on. So this is an optional kit that you can purchase, and then you have hazard lights on your Ural. So back to our expedition trim on this blue metallic Rainier white 2025 gear up. So we talked about LED bulb and we dived into the lighting. This bike has all the lighting you can get on the Ural. So then part of the expedition trim, we have these hand guards. And if you take a closer look at them, they are quite substantial. So there's a lot of protection, not only for wind from this cover, but also for your hand, because it does have a heavy duty bracket on the side that extends into the massive bolt-on extension right here that holds the wind deflector. But it's not only for wind, this is also to protect riders' hands. And while we're on the steering bar, we're going to touch on this accessory. So this ball is integrated and it replaces the original clamps. So these are the original clamps. We take them off, and then we would install this bracket with this heavy duty ball. And the reason we want this to be super heavy duty with zero movement is because once you install your device, you don't want that device to rattle over bumps. You want it to be super tight. And it is super tight, like this particular phone has a keyboard and you can still do that. So this is very, very nice setup. And this comes as a part of the expedition trim. It's also available, you can get as a bolt-on for your Ural. And then we have the handlebar mounted USB charger. This is the one that comes with the factory expedition trim. We actually do not use that. We use our version that comes in a heavy duty aluminum housing. It's machined housing, and then it also has a voltmeter, so you'd be able to see the voltage that is produced by the alternator. You also have this cover and a little window there. And the main reason we use this because the charging output, if you look at that, it's QC 3.0, which stands for quick charge, and most of the devices you want that because it will charge your battery much, much quicker, and it's healthier for the device's battery to use that QC 3.0. So that is a huge upgrade compared to what comes standard with the expedition trim from Ural. Yes, that is my personal favorite. Heated seats and heated grips. So the heated grips are installed on this bike. Not only they produce a lot of heat, I love, and we have great comments from our customers that purchase them, we absolutely love the thickness and the sturdiness of the handle itself. It just the right diameter and great rubber consistency, and the pattern here is very, very good. So it has 4 or 5 settings, low and 3 in the middle, and it has a high setting. There it is. So very quickly, within like a minute, you're gonna start feeling the warmth.
Yeah, without gloves, the high setting will
Make it
cook
uncomfortable.
your hands.
Yep.
Yeah, I've personally used these before.
Yes.
On multiple bikes.
Yep. So then we also have the sidecar windshield. And the sidecar windshield on a Ural consists of the frame, hinge, and the windshield, the plexi, I should say, and the apron. So the height of the windshield and the tint of the windshield is optional, and we have different options that are available on shop.alphacars.com on our e-store. This particular bike, the customer selected smoke tint to match the rider's windshield, and this is a short sidecar. We also have standard and we have high. So short or standard are most popular, and then this length, the height of the frame is a little different for different windshields. And then the apron matches the sidecar tonneau cover. So that's, and then the hinges have nylon locking nuts. So you would tighten them just enough to, first of all, would have the same resistance on right and left side, so you can just pull it down or pull it up and it goes nice and smooth without twisting it. And you tighten it so it's not rattly, and so it's easy to move it up and down. Sidecar nose luggage rack. So with the Expedition trim, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a different style that goes here. So this is not what comes with the Expedition trim.
Usually it's like the rack on the back.
Yes, usually it's this style, which is very slick, but to me it's not as functional as the, I call them boxed style. It's almost like a little box there.
Like deep dish.
Yeah, deep dish. And I love you don't need this to be very thick. This is plenty of strength to put down a little bag and tie it down. And the reason we use this one, because it is available with the cutout for the spotlight, which this customer wanted. We were able to accommodate that. And it also accommodates a sidecar windshield. So for those of you that consider, I'm sorry, not sidecar windshield, sidecar mirror. There it is. So for those of you that are considering to install the sidecar mirror, if you think you're ever going to put the nose rack of this style, this hole should be drilled strategically, because this is the same hole that will be used for the rack installation and for the mirror installation. So that's just a side note. And then all our installations are very, very thorough and thoughtful. We would never have painted metal parts on painted metal parts. We always use heavy-duty rubber washers, like you can see right there, stainless steel hardware, and nylon locking nuts. So that's that. Sidecar rear bumper, there it is, powder coated, easy to mount. It pretty much goes into the same bolts that are used for the sidecar trunk hinge, and this hinge is substantial. This hinge starts from the very top up here all the way down to the hinge part, and then from here it goes all the way down to here. So the hinge on the Ural is quite substantial. Sidecar light protectors, we have 2 of them for the front and back light. You can see right here, same style that goes on the motorcycle rear fender light. And we already touched on the rack. This one is called Geo Spare Wheel Luggage Rack. There was a limited edition model that was called Geo, and this was the style that was introduced in that limited edition model, and there it is. So we just went through all the accessories with minor modifications that are used for the expedition trim. Now you know it, and it is a very nice package. You would actually save a little bit of money if you get the set as a package. So additionally, this motorcycle has some really cool things. And I think this bike totals over 35 different accessories. We touched on some in our package, in our expedition package, but let's continue on. The next one, and very popular one, we have the oil cooler kit. Let's take a look at it. And there is a adapter that goes between the spin-on filter and between the front engine cover. So you can see this base, and we have a very thorough, we actually designed this kit with different fittings and hoses. We use metal braided hoses, and the lengths are provided in the kit that match nicely. So the inlet is on the top, the outlet is on the bottom, and then it goes into the cooler. We experimented with the different locations for the cooler. We found that in our research and development, we found that this is by far the best location for the cooler. It also allows the airflow to continuously run along the length of the cooler, and makes a big difference on a hot day, so we highly recommend that. We talked about the heated grips, and the next big item on this bike, Nitron shocks. It sounds simple, like just different shocks, but this changes the way the Ural motorcycle feels on the road. And the standard shocks are actually high-tech German shocks, but this is a different level. And they come preset for the general riding style, and they work great, but there's a lot of fine-tuning you can do with these shocks. So we definitely encourage anyone that wants to turn their Ural into a substantially better riding motor vehicle, whether it's just a standard riding on the highway, going over bumps, not to mention off-roading. This is a huge upgrade. So this bike has that. And anytime I get on a Ural with Nitron shocks, you know it right away, just as we go around the building here, not to mention when you go on a little bumpy road. You feel that when you're on the highway and you hit a little bump, just the way the machine feels with these shocks is way different. So they come in the set of 5. We get 2 and 2 and 1 for the sidecar. And they're all adjustable, so you can adjust the spring preload and you can adjust dampening of the shock. And they come with a little toolkit that would allow you to do that. We do have a hand shifter on this bike. We're going to talk about that at the end of going over all the accessories. And then we have the left-hand foot box, which we already demonstrated, but it is a phenomenal feature. Not only it protects riders' left foot, but it makes it so much easier to get on and off the bike. It is also a great accessory if you're really into off-roading and you're in a situation where you need your weight on this side. This is the way to do it. You can literally be on this side and you can ride the motorcycle. So this is very, very sturdy because it has the mount in the front, in the middle, and in the back. So that's big. Check this out. It is highly functional and it adds a style. So dual needle temperature gauge. So this gauge will indicate a temperature in each cylinder. Not only it's entertaining, this would be the last feature I'd go after, but it's nice to kind of see those needles move. But it also helps you get a good feel for what's happening when you are in a tough riding environment. Could be traffic, could be parade, could be just super hot day. And God forbid, if something is happening with one cylinder, this gauge will give you a good idea which cylinder you're having an issue with. But if you maintain your motorcycle, if you do everything that the factory recommends, they have very few, if any, issues. Air horn system. This one will speak for itself. And if there was anything in the showroom, I would make them aware, because this is very loud. Are we ready, Ian?
I think so.
Yeah, that's like the truck is going by. So the air horn on the Ural has a lot of, we've been selling it for probably 15 years, and we have phenomenal reviews from our customers. The next accessory is actually very simple to install, very simple to use, and it's highly functional. So the bike Ural motorcycles come standard with a parking brake. So it is a cable-operated parking brake that locks the rear disc. It's right here, so if I move this lever, you'll be able to see how it moves right there. See? And usually that is plenty. If you don't want your bike to roll, this is going to do it. And in addition, there's a small accessory right here. You see this little button? It replaces the standard banjo bolt with this device. So what this device does, it's a hydraulic lock. So what it does, if I squeeze my front brake and I push this button, and I push this button and I release it. So now this wheel is fully locked, and it's just not going anywhere. So that is the front wheel brake. It is also nice as an anti-theft device. We haven't had, in all the years we sold Urals, we never had an incident where the customer would report someone stole their Ural. But this is a nice anti-theft device, because very few people will figure this out. And of course, if you hit this and release it, that's how you release the front brake hold. The next one on the list is Ultimate Light LED lighting package, which we already covered. Complete LED bulb upgrade, which we already covered. And then we have the shin guard kit, which is a very functional, very easy to install, very inexpensive accessory. And those are the shin guards. I remember these bikes from the 80s and early 90s. They came with aluminum ones, and then they were replaced with the plastic. My first thought was that I did like the aluminum ones, but the plastics actually work out better, because especially on this side, should you go against something and push on it, it just bounces back. With aluminum, I remember those, they would get bent in various off-road situations. So those are lovely. They work great. They protect you from the wind. They protect you from the little rocks, and even from the rain. They will keep your feet drier. Sidecar spotlight with Hella glass lens and LED bulb upgrade. That is huge. We showed it to you, and that produces a lot of light. We're slowly but surely moving into the sidecar, so we're going to show you some luxury features you can add to your Ural. And the first one is it's called luxury trim. So the luxury trim gets installed to the side, and it definitely gives a nice feel to the sides, very comfy. It is something to also be aware of, that they will not take moisture very well. So if they get soaked with water or dirt, that's just going to be another maintenance item. So keep that in mind. But if you know you're going to have the tonneau cover and you want your passenger to have most luxury environment, you would add that to the sidecar, as well as this beautifully finished, nearly exotic wood trim for the dashboard. So check that out. It has the It has the 12-volt power supply. So this is the light for the this is the switch for the spotlight, and this is another switch that could be used for future accessories. It is there, we supply it, and it could be used in the future. The seat is very comfortable on the newer Urals, and there's a seat, the base under the seat bottom that has some compartments. So that comes standard. And just a little side note for those of you that order the dashboard on our e-store, as far as installation goes, you will have to clear the space by modifying the housing for the power distribution panel. So you would pretty much cut this right here. Just a little side note if you're watching the video. It would be helpful for you to know that. So moving on to another luxury item in the sidecar. Those are the armrests, and they are very easy to install, and they make your passenger much more comfortable, especially on the bumps. And a little side note, if they're used with the sidecar trim, you can see there's a little gap here. It's barely noticeable, but that's just something we always point out. The sidecar door is brilliantly simple. It is filled with heavy magnets on the inside, and it basically just closes, and it closes nicely and reliably. And on the inside, there is a compartment here. You can put a couple of goodies, sunglasses, and anything else you want to have nearby. And it's definitely not going anywhere because it is situated and mounted this way. It's also very easy, as you can see, it's very easy to have it on and off the bike should you decide not to have it. So that's that. We talked about the rear view mirror. We talked about the wooden dashboard. We're going to leave the winch on for almost the last item. And we're going to talk about the saddlebag. This is one of the most popular accessories for the Ural. By the way, the sidecar mirror can be moved up to access this. So this bag is very, very well made. If you'd see this bag in some fancy store, it would be 3 times the money. And then this bag is very easy to remove. I just pull 2 pins, and this comes out and this goes up. So we have the custom bracket that was designed by our team and manufactured here locally, of course, in the United States and Massachusetts, by one of the machine shop. It is powder coated. There are, as you can see, there are again heavy-duty rubber spacers, stainless steel hardware, and the reason we want this to be easily removable because there's a shoulder belt, and you can take this with you if you have some valuables or if you need just some goodies for your trip outside of the bike. And inside there are some nice compartments. There is a little extension here, and if you peek inside, you can see it's very high quality, nicely made. There's a flannel lined pockets, and these are the pins I was referring to, and I'll use them now to reinstall the bag. So, and it looks like there's a zipper. If you do need to clean out the bag, it looks like you can actually take that out and wash it. So we're going to put this back on. There's adjustable. There's an adjustable strap here. We can actually tighten this up a little bit, just a little bit, and then it goes on. And then there are rubber bushings that we're going to align them, slip this back on. Oh, here it is. And now all we need to do is grab one of the pins and slide it into the opening on the inside. Okay, now that we have the light, we can just do one. Yeah, you can see there it is. And push that on. and put another one. So that is back on the bike, and once again, we have this waterproof extension, and this is all hard stuff, and there are Velcros here that you could kind of just have it slightly different, so if the bags gets bigger and thicker, this can be adjusted. And then these are the side buttons. So that's on the bag. So we have two items left. One is the hand shifter, and the other one, so check out the winch. It's so discreet that you may not even notice it, but it's highly functional. So we do have them upgraded. We used to offer them with the metal cable, which eventually you would need to maintain or replace after many years. So we found the option of the nylon, carbon fiber reinforced nylon, and it works great. We have a nice little video that we did many years ago with a similar winch, same winch, different cable. We actually pulled a Unimog truck here at the dealership. We pulled it towards Ural. So they definitely work. And the last item, I believe it's the last item, is the hand shifter. So we have various options for hand shifters. One, the simplest one and most popular one, it's a single lever, and the lever replaces the reverse foot pedal with the hand shifter for reverse only. So that would be the first option. The other one is dual lever. So we have two levers, one on the bottom and one here. And this one still does the reverse, in and out. And this one does the two-wheel drive. So as you know, Urals come with two-wheel drive system, and this is on-demand, solid, locked axle two-wheel drive, which gives you enormous level of traction because there's no differential. When the two-wheel drive is engaged, the two wheels propel the bike forward. It is nearly unbelievable how much traction you get. You also have a limitation that you would only use it on the surfaces with low traction road surface. So you do have to turn the two-wheel drive on and off if you get on the pavement or off the pavement, maybe on the dirt road that is pretty tight. You don't want that if you get on the wet grass or you get on the slippery sand, not to mention ice, snow, crossing rivers, for example. You would definitely want two-wheel drive on, but you do have to modify turning it on and off. So it is super handy to actually be able to use this lever, so you don't have to reach back for the two-wheel drive engagement. We'll show it to you on the other Ural. So if you're on this bike, this is a standard configuration. So this is my two-wheel drive. And again, the two-wheel drive, in order to engage it, the bike has to be in motion. So having in forward or reverse gear going slow, you would put some light pressure on this lever. When the gears mash, it's going to pop in, and then you can operate the bike in two-wheel drive. And then when you're done, you would have to disengage it. So having the lever here makes a huge difference. That is actually my favorite option for the dual lever hand shifter, having it with two-wheel drive and reverse. The third option, which is also very popular, and I love that too, is when lower lever is assigned to operate reverse, and this lever actually is going to be your forward gears. You would still have your foot lever, left foot. You'd be able to, we have videos, so you would pull this to put it in first, and then you accelerate, and when you shift, you can do it with your foot, or you can push this away and shift it in the next gear up, and so on. And then when you're downshifting, you're just going to be pulling it down. So that is another option that is available. Those are the three, and that's a very common question we get asked. So hopefully in this video, this segment covers that. And I think this is the last accessory on the bike. So the only thing left to do is to take a bike for a quick ride around the building. We're going to invite in the sidecar. Yes, we're going to open the garage door first, and then I'm going to pull the bike out. So to invite the passenger, you move your steering bar to the left, set the parking brake on so the bike doesn't roll, move this forward. If you have the magnetic door, that needs to be pulled out, and then your passenger can make their way in. Plenty of leg room here. Let me hold on. We're going to show you how things are for passenger. Hi, in. How is it?
Comfortable.
Comfortable? Can you extend your feet? Yeah, you
Plenty
see?
of leg room. And I'm about 6 feet.
Wow, yeah. Plenty of leg room. Very, very comfortable. Yeah, and just so you know, that sidecar mirror is quite handy. You can set it so that your passenger can actually see what's going on in the back, because rider has those two mirrors, or you can set it so you can see this part of the fender. So when you're going around something, especially if you're new to Ural, it's nice to see those coordinates. And then when you get on the Ural, when you have your passenger there, you just need to be careful throwing your leg over the bike. So you just bring it down, get on the seat. The seat is super comfortable. This is the standard bench seat. It allows you to move back. It allows you to stay forward. You can ride standing in certain riding conditions. And then we have our parking brake on, so that's one thing to remember for new riders. And Urals have a lot of torque. So as you can see, I just released the clutch. I didn't have to touch accelerator. And there's plenty of torque to move the bike around. We're going to spend a minute and show another feature which is standard, and that's the steering dampener. So this has about 18 clicks, and all it does, it makes more or less, puts more or less resistance on side-to-side movement. I usually recommend starting in the middle, and that's exactly where we were, and this feels great. So we're gonna take the bike around the building. It's a bit chilly, but there's nice warmth comes from the cylinders, and it goes up this way, so it feels good. Yeah, I know what Ian is doing. 1991 E30 M3. How can you not show that? We're doing a wrap job on that Mercedes. Let's not miss that. Yeah, so you can see a lot of things when you're riding a Ural, and you can go very slow, or you can go pretty fast, because they will do 75 miles an hour on the highway. And if you need to get off highway, you can certainly do that too. See that? And you don't need a two-wheel drive for that. Just this. We can go up a little bit. Well, let's go in reverse first. See this? So it's nice to have this here for reverse. So we're going to back up a little bit. Put it back to neutral. Put the first gear. And we can go up a little bit. So we're going to keep in there in the sidecar. We're going to put it in park. And that's where the hand shifting system is handy, because you can still be on the bike and move things around. And while Ian is in the sidecar, I'm going to borrow the camera and show you the two-wheel drive system in the Ural. So there it is. You can see the axle, and on the newer Urals they're CV joints. So that's great because it makes the highway operation smoother. You can see tons of ground clearance. And even the approach angle there's plenty of clearance here. Check this out. We're not touching anything, and we could still make this obstacle if we had to. And there's still plenty of room here, so when the bike starts to lean this way, you can still have your foot on the box. But if we were leaning the other way, and the concern was to have your weight on this side, you can stand on this box. So I'm fully seated on the bike. I don't have to worry about holding the bike with my foot. All I need to do is I'm gonna put the bike in reverse, and I just did that, nice and smooth. I'm gonna remove the parking brake. And put it in first gear. It's this simple. Oops. So let's see how the front suspension works out over bumps. We're going to shift through a couple of gears. Do a little U-turn, first gear, second gear, third gear. Plenty of torque. I'm going to slow down because it's a one-way and it's the other way, one-way. So you just need to be careful. But Urals have awesome brakes. Excellent acceleration. And when you're slowing down, you can use all three brakes. So I was using front brake and following by my foot brake. How did it feel in the sidecar for braking?
Powerful.
Powerful, yes. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go around. This is our showroom. It has a nice grassy area. We can go slow. See, we clipped this little paved walkway, and we can just go around the building. That's the beauty of the Ural with a sidecar. You can go different places. You can go fast, you can go slow, you can go over bumps. You just need to use common sense. And we're going over some rough terrain, and it's very, very comfortable because the Ural sidecar has independent suspension, and this particular one has nitron shocks. Very smooth shifting, nice gear engagement. Slowing down. And we're going to show a little bit in reverse. So the beauty of Ural reverse, it is a mechanical reverse, just like in an automobile. You can go in reverse for as many miles as you wish, and all you need to do is just move that and you're in reverse, so we can get going and keep going. We're not going to bore you with going too far, but basically we're just going to put it neutral, put it in first gear, and we can take off. And a little side note, when you're in first gear in a Ural and you want to go in reverse, you don't need to put it in neutral. You can just go and put it in reverse. It's going to put it in neutral, and then it's going to engage the reverse. So now you're in reverse. when you're done moving in reverse, you have to put it out of reverse and it then automatically goes in neutral. And now we can put it in first gear. So we're going to check out the lighting. I have all our lights on. We have this is daylight. You can still see a lot of light coming from your spotlight, from your headlamp, your fork lights, your LED driving lights, and the sidecar fender light. This is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous motorcycle. This is one of the best builds that we put together. So we thank our customer from North Carolina for allowing us to, for their business, and for allowing us to build this bike. So this bike is also going to be featured in our inventory listings. So definitely check it out. Number one, if you like this color combination, if you like this build, we can just build it for you the same way or with different accessories. Also, each accessory we list separately in our listing, so you can see how much things are, and you can modify your build. But if you were wondering what would it cost to build this exact bike, that listing would be very, very helpful. And then you can see if there's a certain accessory you didn't want to have in your build, you can exclude that, and you can work with our sales team to structure the build of your bike. So that's going to be also listed with the high definition, high resolution images. You'll be able to scroll and see the particulars of the bike. So we thank you very much if you watched this entire video. We hope it was entertaining and you learned a lot, because every time we make a new build, we learn a lot, and we thank our customers for allowing us to work with them. But we thank you for watching this video. Please consider sharing, subscribing, and please let us know which videos you like the best by simply clicking that like button. Thanks again for watching. My name is Dimitri, and Ian was not only running the camera, but helping out with important topics here through the video. So thanks for watching.